Shalom everybody, we are here at the Medina's house, studying Bezrat Hashem our weekly class, starting with Halachot, going to Musar. There are very interesting classes in either one. The topic of today is bandaging wounds on Shabbat. You know, we have to treat all these topic notion of treatment, medications / healing, using medicines on Shabbat differently, and we should use a different approach than we have on the weekdays. So I put the microphone. So it seems that, and people mistakenly think that on Shabbat, you know, everything is emergency, everything can be done like you're doing during the weekdays, and this is not true. So today we're going to learn some halachot and some tricks how we can either, on one hand, treat one, and the other hand, to keep Shabbat, not to break Shabbat. There's another question, by the way, you know, every time you break Shabbat, you need to do, if you break Shabbat and you want to repent, to do teshuvah, so the Torah is very much for it, and this is the great thing, and it's the only thing you should do in order to atone for this grave sin, is teshuvah. So one is asking, hold on, I have to break Shabbat. Why do you have to break Shabbat? I have to break Shabbat because I have to save a patient. So I drove him to the hospital. I took a pregnant woman. She was about to deliver a baby. There's no question that I broke Shabbat. I called, used the phone, and I drove, and many things. Now, do I need to do teshuvah for this?
No.
If you want. Yeah.
No.
Still do, yeah.
So I see here is a debate. Some says yes, some say no.
You're not supposed to.
Answer will be given soon. Now we're going to deal with bandaging wounds. Thank you very much. The halacha says that if someone got bandage on his hand, or some type of wound, and or he has some cut during Shabbat, he cut himself. It says that it is permissible on Shabbat to apply a clean, dry bandage on a wound, even if it will not be dangerous to leave it unbandaged. It does not matter whether or not the bandage has been used before. If possible, it is correct to wash off any blood from the wound's surface before putting on the bandage. One may not apply any antiseptic ointment to the wound, however, for fear that the person will be tempted to smear the ointment on, since he wants it to remain on the wound. So remember, we learn that you may smear or put in your hand, let's say baby oil.
Yeah.
A lotion, if you want to put, it's permitted in the very liquidish one. If it's too thick, it's not permitted. Fine. So we learned the first halakha. This is something you can do. Now, I found out that the bandage, it's too big. I can cut, 1 foot from it. It's too big, and I want to cut. Am I permitted to cut the extra, the leftover from it? ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם שהכל נהיה בדברו.
אמן. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם שהכל נהיה בדברו.
Amen. So the halacha says, if the bandage available is larger than what is needed, Oh, Doug Murphy is with us, so you don't have to worry. And Moses Turjuman, Kol HaKavod, studying Torah. Stay tuned, we have a very interesting stories today in Musar. Stay tuned. Anyways, if the bandage is available as larger than what is needed, it is forbidden to cut it down to size. Instead, one should wrap the entire bandage on the wound. So you see here, it's not like a regular day.
Right.
You treat this treatment, you give it this different approach. Different way, right? Okay? One should wrap the entire bandage on the wound. Furthermore, it is proper to follow the stringent opinion of the poskim who rule that it is forbidden on Shabbat to cut a wad of cotton from a larger swath, unless it would be dangerous to go without the cotton, or if it is needed for a mitzvah. Likewise, if someone has an erech, I don't know what erech means. Hold on a second. Some I don't know, pain in the ear. Earache, I'm sorry. Earache. I'm telling you, I'm getting old. I cannot see from close. I have to go back. Yeah. I went to the doctor last week with my kids, so I asked him, he says, how old are you? I'm 46. He says, ooh, Baruch Hashem, you're a good chap. He started to use this, half glass from when we become 40. So that's the age, 40 and up.
I have 3.
Oh, you have 3? Good for you.
For like 6 years. Since right before we came to that.
I just noticed it lately. But I can't look from a distance, so I'm going like this.
Yeah.
Like that, I can see better.
I got him when I was 48, I guess. So pretty soon we're having.
If someone have an earache and wants to insert a small wad of cotton in his ear, it is recommended to refrain from tearing a small wad for this purpose, unless he is in a great pain. So you have earache, you have to be careful. By the way, if you want to treat an earache, Yemenite medicine is very simple and very effective. You can warm up a little bit olive oil and either put with the garlic, take a big one, not so it won't go all the way in, okay? Dip it in, or take this wad and put it in, make sure it's not burned, not too hot, put it in the earache, it can kill the bacteria. It's solved many times, these small little solutions, the vodka, it's amazing. Unbelievable. Thank God. So we see on Shabbat, if it's not really bothering a great pain of an earache, you're not supposed to do it. Okay. It's well recommended, by the way, that a house that there's a sick person there. This guy is sick, he got the flu. The flu, how long it takes usually? 7 days, right?
No, 3.
3, let's say 3 to 7, whatever.
Now it's around 7 to 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Even a month.
So it's with medication or without medication, it's going to take 7, right? It's with medication, it takes 7 days. Without it takes a week.
I've had it for a month.
So it's better that a hospital or any residence where there is someone who needs a daily treatment and bandaging should prepare as much of the needed equipment as possible for Shabbat begins. So you need to cut bandages, syringe, you need to open bottles, everything ready for Shabbat. Because you know what's going to happen, you make preparation. Even in hospitals today, especially places that are religious and really care about halacha, they're using in these places most of the time, most of these hospitals, non-Jewish doctors and nurses, so they can break Shabbat. It's less problematic, and even the equipment there for them, it's ready. Okay?
It's true. We never think about these things. We should prepare all these things, even if we don't think we're going to use them.
Mm-hmm. Right? We want to minimize the need to desecrate Shabbat on the patient behalf. And God, He sees our effort. You see that you care not to desecrate the Shabbat. You love His Shabbat. You appreciate the sanctity of Shabbat. And He will reward you accordingly. But people say, no, but he's sick. I'm sick. God will understand. Well, God understands a lot of things. You also understand that you appreciate the Shabbat. He brings you a remedy, a refuah shelema, a speedy recovery sooner than it was planned. And no big deals. It's just the little things that makes the difference. So, if anybody had any concern about removing the waxed paper from the underside of a bandage, it's permitted on Shabbat, no problem. Okay? You also can put on the wound a bandage, no problem on Shabbat. What about using a powder? Coagulant, how do you call it? Coagulant.
Yes.
Stop the
You familiar with it? It's a yellow one, no? What color is it? White one.
It's to stop the blood. It's
stop
to
the
make
blood.
the blood clot.
Spray
Right.
or...
Right. I saw the mohel in the Brit Milah, isn't it? I spoke with Rabbi Shol. He told me that this one is pretty expensive. The one he uses is pretty expensive, so I don't know if they're selling off the counter. I don't think
they do.
They do?
Yeah, I used to carry it all the time when I...
It's just a powder that you can use.
It's a spray. And
Oh, no, I'm not talking about spray. I'm talking about the powder.
there's powder, there's spray, there's cream, there's...
We used to have, when we were a child,
Glue.
coffee.
Yeah.
Put coffee.
Can we use coffee?
And then you take the leftover and you make a drinks out of it. No, I'm just kidding. Don't try it at home. It is permissible to place a powder coagulant on the wound on Shabbat, even if it will not be dangerous without it. This is not considered a medical treatment, but rather an act of preventing the blood from pouring forth and causing the wounded's condition to become worse. If someone has a very deep cut, he may put a bandage with antiseptic ointment on the wound. He should go to the hospital too in this case. If the person is dangerously wounded, one may desecrate the Shabbat and drive him to the hospital to perform any other necessary act. Okay? So in case, we already learned that, in case that you know it's a problem and dangerous, or if you're not sure, even if you're not sure, it's considered dangerous. We're not taking any chances on Shabbat. But many wounded, especially when I have kids, you see it all the time. It's just sometimes it's scratch. People get, I saw mothers that they overreact, which is simple cut. Simple cut.
The tooth falls.
Oh, I had a lady the other day that her daughter fell and the teeth hit the bottom lip and there's a lot of bleeding.
Right.
Yeah,
Is it open?
So I told her, just hold it like this. No, rush to the hospital.
What
What are they going to do? They're not going to... So she took it. She took the baby, and they, of course they put ice.
Yeah, that's all.
Unless they send her home.
Yeah, what is? Pay $500?
I don't know that, but
Come back.
last time I told her. I mean, now I want to have a question. You can't shave on Shabbat, right?
Right.
And any form of shaving. Can I put some type of sticker and remove it on Shabbat? It doesn't matter how you shaving. It's not permitted on Shabbat, correct?
No.
Right. Right?
You're not supposed to cut.
You're not supposed to cut.
You're not supposed to use stickers, so
For myself? I'm never.
stickers like, stamps or stickers or,
Yeah.
like kids taking them.
Right. Okay. Now we have a problem. What's the problem? One wants to remove a bandit. By removing the bandit, it's going to move also a lot of hair.
Right.
It's considered shaving.
Yeah.
But that was.
Can he remove the bandit on Shabbat or leave it there till after Shabbat?
You have to, do the question. What are you doing is, you're trying to remove hair, or you're trying to remove the bandage?
So what's my intention?
You bring your intention, which has to do with it.
Okay. So when it is necessary, one may pull a bandage off of a hairy skin, even though one plucks some hairs in the process, since one has no intention of plucking any hair, and one does not want that to happen. It is a case of psik reshe del nichalem de rabbonon, and it is permitted according to the many major poskim. It's not my intention.
Can I get a star for that?
1 star goes tonight to Elishama Medina, L'chaim. Okay.
That's why anyway, when they do stitches or operate or anything, they usually shave around so that when they put the Band-Aid, there's no hair to pull.
All right. And make it comfortable. You don't have to do that. Make it comfortable. Okay. Next case is, we cannot dye on Shabbat. Dyeing, like color. D-Y-E, I'm sorry. Not D-I-E, D-Y-E, right? You're not allowed to dye any day. Dyeing on Shabbat with Y, coloring, it's something, it's a problem. It's a problem. And I give you some, like for example, a case. A woman has a lipstick, and she wants to show her friend the color. So she asked her, "Can you get me toilet paper?" She got white toilet paper. She put it on the lips and said, "Okay, do you like this color?" "Oh, it's the pink one. It looks like, red." So they discuss all that. It's coloring on Shabbat. It's a problem. One has a nosebleed. He doesn't want to put paper towel because he said, "I'm going to color the paper towel." So what do? He gets stuck with his finger.
That's disgusting.
Can he put a paper towel and get it over with? Or he should remain with his nose, his finger stuck in his nose?
He's not trying to color.
It's right here and it's stuck.
That wasn't his intention. The other one with the lipstick was their intention.
Okay, so let's say with the woman, or her intention, okay, so let's say she takes a cup and she drinks from it. We know for sure she's going to leave some marks. Permitted or not permitted on Shabbat? Why?
Because that wasn't her intention.
So, someone who suffers from hemorrhoids may use a toilet paper to wipe himself clean when necessary, even though the hemorrhoids constantly bleed. This does not forbidden as an act of tzoveh. Okay? Same with the nose. So likewise, someone who has a nosebleed and has difficulty controlling it may place cotton in his nose on Shabbat if that will help. This is not forbidden as an act of tzoveh. This is particularly so in this case since the blood ruins the cotton and one discards it immediately afterward. So if someone can find an alternative method and avoid using cotton, however, he will receive a special blessing from heaven. Which means that if he stuck his finger outside or inside, and avoid cotton, because I know, it happens to me every once in a while. I'm okay.
No.
Okay, fine, it's better.
Sometimes you can hold it.
Can. Sometimes.
Pinch right here.
Pinch it and put your head up. Stops bleeding.
Yeah. We've learned in the Israeli army, as a paramedic, it's a big mistake to take the head off.
Why?
No, because you can choke yourself. You swallow the
Oh,
blood.
blood.
Let it go, let it drain. The blood is already released. You have nothing to do about it. So don't pull your head up because you can get choked on it, yes.
Well,
Okay, so you see, these little acts can cause
a big difference.
a big difference. And what? You get special blessing from Shamayim, from heaven, so making efforts. So telling Hashem in your actions, you know, Hashem, I know it's Shabbat. I know it's a special day. I know I can use cotton, but nevertheless, I'm making efforts with that. And Hashem, you see, will send you a beracha with these small little actions. The truth is that from a perspective of health, it is far more preferable to rinse one's nose with cold water and to insert the tissue instead of cotton. Okay, so it's also a tip here, a recommendation.
You know, because you go from cotton, which is material, and you turn it into wood, which is
Okay,
way better.
okay. Fair. Now, you know the trick that grandma used when someone hit his head on something hard, on a hard surface, on a table, on the floor, and he got a big, what do you call it?
Bump.
Bump. Well, it's a big one. So what's the trick? They're taking a spoon
They put
and they push it hard all the way. It hurts way more than a bump. You know, but it helps. Can you do that on Shabbat? It's giving a medical treatment, is sort of the medical treatment on Shabbat. Can you do that on Shabbat?
It's not something that's done normal. So I would think.
What the halacha has to say about it? So the halacha said, if someone received a sharp blow to his forehead or arm, he may press a spoon or the handle of a fork on the spot to prevent it from swelling. Likewise, he may soak the spot or bathe it with cold water, as long as he is careful not to perform any act of laundering or to squeeze water from any cloth. So you see, in one hand, permitted, in the other hand, be careful.
It's better to have, like you use any type of tin or metal that is in the freezer. This is really good also.
From the freezer, it might stick. So be careful.
You just put it inside for a little bit just to get it cold.
Okay.
The thing will be with ice.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, you can put ice, but we see from it that it's permitted. Okay. Next halacha. I'm going to skip the halachot about someone that has cane, that he can use them on Shabbat, using crutches. He can. Halacha is he can. Even in places there is no eruv. And so forth and so on. Okay, let's skip to the next
use
one.
a cane that has a sword inside?
A sword inside? It depends. If there's eruv or not eruv. If eruv, you can. Why not? What is this? What do you mean sword? It's a knife?
It's a cane.
Ah, it has like a weapon.
Yes, but you take it out, it's a concealed.
So with a sword like this, it's already a question. If this is already a weapon, carrying a weapon on Shabbat, it's different. If it's just a knife that you may be able to use it for whatever, I don't know, I have to check. Because this is considered as carrying weapon on Shabbat. Well, I can tell you right now, carrying weapon on Shabbat, it's not permitted. Even a gun, it's not permitted. It's not permitted. Only in a time of war it's permitted.
Right now we're in war.
And no, it's not considered a war. So we asked the rabbis when we were in the Israeli army, we were in yeshiva, and in the time we have the army. So we told them that it's mandatory to walk in the camp. It's a big camp. They don't allow you to store the weapon. It's not a time of war. It's time of training, and the commanders are very strict about it. They say you have to carry it with you at all time. It says it's like your wife. You cling to this
If you
weapon.
If you carry it all week, like the king that I'm telling you, that has a sword inside.
But that's not the case. Here you're in the military, it's training, it's part of the... So the rabbi says in that case it's permitted, and it's also in some cases it's permitted to bring it to the shul, to enter weapon in the shul. Now, because of the terror actions we had a few months ago and a year ago, and threats we heard, and even in the United States, so the rabbi said that some people should carry on Shabbat a concealed weapon, weapon on you, for the purpose of protecting the community, security, and so forth and so on. Okay, so in some cases, I have a question here. What about Abigail Maya? Abigail Maya said, what about during time when there are a lot of bombings and shootings in synagogues? Can we bring on... Okay, so I answered that. Yeah. In that case, we are permitted. So actually, I carried a gun in the shul a few months ago. Well, it was on me. Because of that, yeah. I actually went shooting not this Sunday before, with someone has a farm. We went to his farm. It's like an hour and 15 minutes from here. We shoot this gun. For the first time I shoot it. I just got it and I had the opportunity to shoot it with many other guns. And Baruch Hashem, I saw that I'm still in shape, That was pretty good, thank God. So I hope we never need to use it.
So now the rabbi is loaded.
Yes, Baruch Hashem. I was thinking about the group. It was on the news in Tel Aviv. A guy with a knife, crazy guy, Arab guy, came out of a restaurant that he works. He got parnas, a livelihood. They would pay him. He got a knife and he started to stab people. People saw him. They had a mincha there, the daven mincha. They saw him. He saw them. Everybody rushed in. They closed the door. There are two doors. They're holding it. He has knife. They're holding it in one side, and he's trying to open it from the outside. So, and someone videotaped it. It was on the news. You could see it. And I was thinking, imagine to yourself, no one of these guys has a gun. What if we get in? They couldn't do anything. It would butcher them, or at least wound many of them. If one of them had gun, he would prepare himself and tell him, please open the doors now. They open the doors, he come in, one shot, two shots, and the story is over. It's very important to have weapon for self-defense. Unfortunately, not something you want, but you see from this case, that's unfortunate situation, but that's the case, unfortunately. Okay?
Yeah.
Okay. One more halacha. What about administrating an injection on Shabbat? Someone is moderately ill. Halacha says that it is permissible to do so. Likewise, it is permissible to connect a new needle to a syringe to prepare such an injection. This is not forbidden as an act of boneh, building, nor is it an act of fashioning a new utensil. There is no basis to say It is forbidden by our sages. Either the same rules apply to a disposable syringe. What about someone that he is diabetic and he wants to take
Insulin.
right, injections of insulin on Shabbat? Is it permitted or not? If a doctor has determined that someone is a diabetic and that he must be given an injection of insulin before every meal, it is permissible to administer this injection even on Shabbat. Even a Jewish person may do this, since a diabetic has the status of someone who is moderately ill.
True.
Okay. Now, next topic that Bezrat Hashem will have next week is Bezrat Hashem night before I'm flying to Israel. So we're going to discuss a new topic. The new topic is the laws of moderately ill and someone that is in danger.
What's considered moderately ill?
What's the criteria?
Okay.
If you drive him, what you can do, when it's better to call a non-Jew, what's the proper way? Can we just call an ambulance or drive him ourselves? Because some halachot, you'll see, they tell you, you don't call anybody. If you do that, in order to avoid desecrating Shabbat, take him yourself. Some cases, you don't have time for ambulance. Take him.
You're saving the
Or
life.
sometimes, it's still, you think you have time, and says, you know what, actually I think it's okay, let's call an ambulance. And it's not okay, and he died eventually. It happens all the time, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So we'll see we'll learn the laws. Sometimes people say, you know what, let me ask the rabbi. And there's no time to ask the rabbi. So, but we need to learn the halacha. Okay? Be'ezrat Hashem, it's a new topic, so God willing, starting it next week. We are moving, in 5 minutes, we're starting the Mushar class, very interesting, from the book of the ways of the tzaddikim, or Chot tzaddikim. We'll meet you here again at, I would say, 8:20 something. On behalf of Ohev Israel Foundation, I want to thank you everybody for joining us to this Shabbat law medical treatment on Shabbat. Thank you very much.